thanks for being here. We've got the thunder on our side. Now let's connect to our deep Ujjayi breath. With each breath, we can get a sense of gently spreading out internally, letting the bones be moved. We'll feel the shoulders relax, the tongue muscle, there it is. And gently reaching down. It's a bit of bearing down, but it's gentle, so that we can feel breath between the navel and the sacrum. So today's practice is one of just catching, feeling, utilizing our resources at any given moment. So, in a practice like this, a resource to me is something that is consistent, that helps anchor me in present moment. So feeling, being able to sense present moment, breath. Also draw on, remember our resources of brilliance, of strength, feeling support over feeling diminishment. So feeling the many ways that we're supported in our practice. Okay. We'll do some alternate nostril breathing without any holds. So adopt any cross-legged position that you like. I'm going to start with the left hand. We'll inhale through the right nostril till we feel full. And switching nostrils, exhale out the left, about 10 or 12 counts. And then inhaling left, which transitions into exhaling out right. So this back and forth pattern will proceed. Now, how you experience support is quite unique. It's a bit of a creative endeavor on our individual parts. Nourishment as support, kind of biomechanical support. Just the many ways that we can experience living well and feeling connected to life itself. We'll continue until we exhale out the right nostril. So let's straighten out the right leg, bending the left. Whether your ankle goes behind your hip or in front of your hip, we'll be extending or straightening out this left arm. So if I grab my ankle, I can just hook on. Otherwise, I reach out. Using my right hand to post up on the ground, inhale, kind of expanding ribs. Till I feel that breath, that wave of breath under the collar, under the left chest wall. And with that exhale, allowing those left arm bones just subtly be moved or drawn away from the neck bones. Reaching through the ball of the right foot, turning on that inner right leg. Because this focuses so much on the neck structure, we can elicit a lot of sensation. Try this out. That gentle bearing down of the breath where you can feel that between the navel and the sacrum. Try that out, breathing down into the body. Does that provide us enough support, enough bodily anchor that we can afford to release or soften around the shoulder? Okay, let that left hand go, moving into forward fold. So bringing both hands beside my right leg. You may have to adjust the hips a little bit. If you feel this pulls on one side of your sacrum a little funny, just adjust the legs, adjust the pelvis. To me, it doesn't matter how the depth of fold. At this stage, feel the back of the neck able to relax, and then we deepen our breath in those parameters. Inhale, walk the hands back toward the pelvis. And now we adjust this sole of left foot to the ground. So our left knee is bent. We'll be getting into Mariachi Asana C. If you require a strap, you can set one by your left hip. And moving on exhale, and reaching this left arm along the inside of the leg, wrapping it, exactly, Megan, around the shin. And then latching on or connecting. There we go. Now here's another instance where we can soften through the neck. And connect to breath. And we may have to remind ourselves or just feel for that, relaxing the neck many, many times. There you go. Let's do one more. There we go. And when we release, we'll inhale, let the hands go, come upright, and we'll trade sides. So we've got the left leg straightened. And the right hand, the right arm, I'm going to stretch it out all the way. So whether we latch on or reach out. And with that straightened out right arm, I draw the arm bones. They get moved slightly down away from that collar bone, that AC joint. Kind of unimpacts. They bring that breath under that collar into the armpit, the very tops of those ribs. And I find, you have to play with it to learn if it's true for you, but I find if I bear my breath down, I can breathe into the top of my ribs and my shoulder more softly. So if I can feel my breath reach my sacrum, it often reaches my collar in a softer, fuller way. But again, forward fold. We'll open up that right hand. Adjust hips if necessary. We'll walk the hands beside the left leg. By relaxing the neck muscles, the head, I can permit a deep breath to come online, that super valuable resource. So relaxing the neck is part of that resource discovery or uncovering. And inhale, we'll walk the hands back up. Take this right foot, plant it, and folding on exhale, reach, wrap that right arm round, make a connection. Could be right hand to thigh, S-hooking the fingertips. I'm gently drawing the right shoulder or the shoulder blade down the ribs so that as I get a really full deep breath, it moves the topmost ribs. And so you can feel that breath getting under those ribs, under those spine bones near the heart. There they are. Yes, yes, yes. And take one more. And when we release, we'll lie on our back. And we'll have our roll nearby. Here we go. So bring the feet off the ground. We can still feel the sacrum on the floor. And then additionally, you encourage your breath into your low back, so your low back keeps contact with the ground. So inhaling, my breath descends into the back as I draw the head and the shoulders up off the ground just a little bit. And holding that back to the ground, exhale, reach the left leg out, curling the tailbone as you're exhaling, and then drawing the low belly down as you move that left leg away from your navel. Inhale, as you bend the left knee, Ensure that low back stays breathed, connected to the ground. And then exhaling, right leg reaches out. Tailbone can shift as you're exhaling, and then draw the low belly down. You may even feel a secondary little tailbone shift. Inhale, bend that right knee. Let's continue. We'll just do 4 more on each side. And for our purposes today, doing this as a breathing technique exercise and anchoring the breath in the abdomen, the sacrum. So this stays down. Smush me down. There you go. You're in for it soon. Set that from sacrum to head. You want to play along and play some tricks? Sure. Get a little. Oh no. It's for your spine. That'd be cruel. Do you have a mat there, a free mat or a blanket? All we've done, Megan, is I've just rolled up a little slender amount of, it could be the mat or the blanket, just something soft. So you can put it on from sacrum all the way up to the back of the head. Now when you bend your knees, you can have the feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I've rolled it so that it feels like a bit of a seesaw, like you could fall a little bit left or right. True? Okay. And I can show you that. Okay. Now, I put the arms out to the side just for balance, because I do want the balance. Okay. So I've just took a slender bit of blanket, Megan, and just a little bit of roll. You see how I have? So my sacrum and my spine, maybe even my head, can rest on it. I'm just trying to create just a little seesaw action, like I could droop a little left or right. Okay. So again, just like our abdominals, breathe and keeping that low back connected to that blanket or that roll the whole time. Now, my arms are off to the side just for kicks, for balance. And the first thing, I just lift one foot up, breathing into the low back. Now that may be super simple. You may not feel any perturbation doing that, and that's fine. So we can set that down, and we can try out the other side. I'm still keeping that small of back, the lumbar, totally connected to the roll. Now that might be really easy. You may not feel very much back and forth, but this is more of like, I'm just gonna let my body sort it out and puzzle through this. So I'm gonna bring both feet off the ground. Now this might be where you start to feel a little jiggly, a little back and forth wobbly. Okay, and again, I'm keeping the back, the low back, connected to that roll. Okay, so now the fun kicks into high gear. I'm gonna let my legs just drift a little bit to the left, like a windshield wiper, and then, don't fall off the log. And then I can always recenter them. And I can always drift them or windshield wiper them a little bit to the right. And of course, don't fall off the log. You can always come back. So I'm just gonna explore this a little bit. This is like, for me, it's an alternate to abs. And it helps us breathe into the lower abdomen without necessarily having to brace quite as strongly as sometimes we might. Okay. So I'm just letting the legs windshield wiper a little bit left, a little bit right. It's a perturbation, and I'm just letting my body sort it out. I'm appreciating any differences left to right. And if that's starting to feel easier, that's awesome. That means, my body's learning. So let's change the arm positions a little bit. You can keep your feet there. You can reach your right arm up into the corner and reach your left hand down into the hip area corner. That should change it a little bit. Woo! And again, don't fall off the log is really all the game is. So I just want you to feel this, because this can and is really beneficial if it's present in our abdominals. Like, so if we've had a hip scenario or a sacral issue, this can be super helpful in sorting out and puzzling through and breathing into how we stabilize. Right? So one of our support structures that it's really hard for us to get to voluntarily, but we can figure it out in an environment. Okay, we're going to switch our arms. So now let's try the left arm up into the corner and the right hand down in the hip corner. And if you need more support, I would just open up the hands a little bit. I'd move the arms on the clock. There it is, yep. And again, just appreciating the differences left to right. I might feel more stable when I move one way, less stable when I move the other. But again, I'm just letting my body play, sort through it, puzzle through it. And all the while, my breathing is helping keep that low back, there it is, connected to that blanket. And that's really the key part here, just as it's exactly, there it is, a key part in our other abdominals. Yeah. Good. And then let's just set the feet down. Just, because that's actually a good amount of neurological stim. Okay. All right. We can give up that toy. And hopefully it's given us a sense of how we might be able to breathe into our sacrum and our low back, hopefully. So now when we grab that roll that's beside us, we'll place it between the legs. Okay. And we'll reach the legs up. So when I'm breathing into my low back, it's in that way that would helpfully keep me from teetering left or right. So you might even be able to feel some of that. All right, so inhaling into the low back, into the sacrum. Hold that, and let's squeeze that object. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. And as I press the legs toward the sky, draw the low belly down. And then relaxing the belly, inhale, head to ground. So it's like I'm keeping my back on that blanket or on that ground. Squeeze the object. Stretch the legs toward the sky as you exhale, the head and the shoulder blades up. Draw the low belly down, way down. Good. Inhale, set the head down. Let's do the last 4 of these on our own. And so I still have that sensitivity of, so I'm not over bracing. I'm still very, very responsive in that hip and that back. There you go. There you go. Exactly. And so if I'm doing a lot of bracing, whether it's bracing with my lip muscles or bracing with my guts, I may not be able to access the degree of responsiveness that I'm capable of. So sometimes it's nice to uncover and feel a really responsive body and breath. We'll just take that roll, we'll move it off to the side. Let's set up for dolphin. And don't worry, I've thought of a multitude of ways we can get that into our poses. So welcome to the dungeon. Let's set up for dolphin. Elbows under shoulders, knees under hips. And I wonder, can we still feel that for bringing that breath to the sacrum? Bringing that breath between the navel and the hip bones. Neck relaxed, toes curled under. Exhale the knees off the ground. Now inhaling will smoothly raise the left foot away from the ground. I'm playing as if my spine is still waving or teetering on that little blanket log. And when I can feel that in my mind, my body, I can start to breathe into my low back. I start to press through that ball of right foot, that inner there it is, there it is. Exactly. It's just that little itty bitty amount of that. Oh, good. There you go. And that reads all the way up to the groin. So while you contact me here, let that read, there you go, there you go. Hang on here, I got a good one. And breathe right into here. There it is. And let's switch sides. We'll set that left foot down. And in exchange, we'll take the right leg up. So again, if my spine was still kind of teetering on that little blanket log, there it is. There. So maintain that. This is a wonderful support system right here. And we'll set that right foot down, please, gently. Rest. Let's stand. Yeah. Oh, geez, there's. Let's set up in a warrior 2, left foot forward. Inhaling, reaching the arms out to the side. So now when I exhale and I gently shift that tailbone down, there's that very slight lengthening exactly in the low back. Yep. But now it all has to do with that blanket and that breath. There you go. This is about breathing into that low back. There you go. That's it. That's a different support, for sure. All right, we're moving into reverse warrior. Inhale, let's go right hand to right thigh, raise the left. Now as I am exhaling, I'm going to shift that left sit bone just slightly under, like just barely scooching it under. Can you feel breath descend into that left side where sacrum meets pelvis? Good. And we could even come to the back wall of the sacrum, like the interior of the sacrum, the breath. There it is. There. Inhale, bring that left arm up and over when our trunk is upright. Remain right here. There's an eagle in our future. Exhale, hook the left elbow over the right. Left over right. Now as I glide the shoulders down, I'm gliding tailbone gently down. And there is support here. Now how you choose to label it, find it, discover it, feel it, is a really personal decision in your practice. But just that we ongoingly feel, where's the support here? How do I feel structurally supported, emotionally supported, spiritually supported, breath supported? straighten that left leg. Little rest. Triangle, so heel toe that right foot in a little bit. Okay. Now, as I'm exhaling, my legs press quite strongly, yet my pelvis kind of swivels or glides atop my thigh bones. And I just set that left hand down wherever it feels best for my hips, groin, and sacrum. I'm not too concerned about the lowness of my hand. I'm breathing between the navel and the sacrum. So I start to feel the bones of the sacrum moving and breathing themselves, right? Inhale, let's bring both hands down to the ground. Set the right knee down. And find your block. Your block is for your left foot. Okay. Put as much of your left foot pressure on this block as you care to. We're setting up left forearm across left shin. And our very first move is pressing the right knee off the ground, relaxing the neck. Okay, so if I'm reaching my elbows down, if I'm wrapping my shoulders, I can breathe into my upper back. Just like that eagle, just like that beginning shoulder blade breaths. And for right now, I'm going to keep that right foot on the ground, just coming out of triangle. I think that would be best. And inhaling, I'll step that left foot back, downward dog. When you set the knees down, you can do this in a little bit of an experimental way. There's that blanket or that mat that you had. Let's grab that. Now, when you lie on it this time, that nice teetering log of almost support. I'll just keep using this. Again, ensure the sacrum is on the blanket log and your head if possible. Okay. You can have your arms for support at your sides. That seems to be the most supportive. We'll draw our left leg, our left leg straight up. I'm just going to walk my right foot away from my head. I might even straighten that right leg. That's great. And I'm breathing that low back into the roll. Now, if that feels easy, reach the right arm overhead and press the right foot away from the right hand. And again, if there's little wobbles, just letting the body sort it out. We'll switch sides while we're here. I'm going to bring my right leg up. Now, if you don't feel any of that wobble, maybe I've rolled my blanket a little too flatly. It's nice if there is a little wobble. There it is. And we'll start to walk the left leg out. And if that feels super simple, I'll reach the left arm overhead. Yeah. There you go. And again, I'm breathing into that low back, stretching left heel from left hand fingertips from left heel. Yeah, so you can really stretch this up if you want. Good. Press. Yes. And so there, you're breathing into that low back. And again, now we'll just bend the knees, set the feet down, and we'll rest out of that. Please turn over. That'll conclude that nonsense. And so now let's press back into downward dog. We'll get at the other side. Inhaling, step right foot forward, warrior two. And exhaling the tailbone gently down. There we go. And if all these little tools help us get is just a little more feeling awareness for being in our body, I call that a win. Call that an enormous win. Reverse warrior. Inhale, left hand to thigh, right arm lifts up. And then exhaling, right sit bone softly reaches down, lifting the fingertips away from the sit bone. And can you feel breath in the right side of sacrum? And can you feel it in the right and even all the way to the left? Can you breathe toward this? There you go. Yeah. Once more. Good. Inhale that right arm up and over. Once we're upright, we're setting up for eagle. Exhale the right elbow over the left. The right elbow over the left. Now, the upper back that we were working with today, yesterday, gets a lot of information from our foot, our hip, our sacrum, all those places we'd been breathing. So you want to challenge this and explore this really fully. Deepen stance. So you get a lot of that foot information, reading through the hip. That hip information does read into the upper back. Oh. Inhale, unwind the arms. All right, we'll set the left, pardon me. Triangle. We got this. Straighten the right leg, shorten the stance. Okay, and I'll configure my triangle so that my sacrum feels best. So I just want you to know that you can make this triangle work for you. If something feels a little wonky in the low back, let's adjust it, let's change it. There it is. That's it, Nancy. So I'm bringing that breath into the interior side of my sacrum, right? The bones, in the middle of the pelvis. All right, inhale. Now let's bend the right knee. Let's bring the hands down, and we'll use a block for the right foot. And for this setup, which appears to be leading us toward like an Ekapada Bakasana, is really here so we can just put a lot of juice through the forefoot, the right forefoot. So I put my arms in the position, right? Exhale the knee, the left knee off the ground. And all I'm really wanting and needing from this pose is that forefoot pressure. So I'm willing to just dose in a little more weight, a little more weight, a little more weight. I'm just leaving my left foot on the ground. And just like you were breathing your back into that blanket, you can feel that here. You can breathe your sacrum away from your block. So I'm delivering a ton of foot pressure, the forefoot pressure, and I'm getting my breath, almost lifting my sacrum away from that block. There you go. Yes. And then once more with a supremely relaxed neck. Yes. And inhaling, we'll step that foot off block and into downward dog. Have any rest or pause that you desire, we'll be going to the wall. From the wall, we'll be working dolphin on the wall. So, without further ado, any places are open to us. And I'm pretty sure we all know the way in, but I'll just talk through it. So I've got my feet within inches of the wall, elbows under shoulders. And for this, you're welcome to clasp hands or put forearms out in parallel. Neck relaxed. Inhale, push the earth. With your forearms, exhale, press the knees off the ground. Allow for the neck to relax, that you can feel the qualitative shift in your breathing that comes with neck relaxed. And then we'll inhale 1 foot hip height, following by exhaling the other foot hip height. There you go. And then once we're up, great, we'll soften through the neck yet again. There you go. That's it, Nancy. I'm going to give you a little. Up to 2 more breaths. Keep lifting those sit bones toward the sky. Which is, yep. Oh, now let's go for the gold. You're welcome. There you go. And please step down to rest. All right. Let's move away from wall. That concludes that. And we'll step our left foot forward. So we're back into a warrior 2. And inhale, reach arms out. Okay. Let's go to chest opener. Interlace the hands behind back. The feet remain active, and the tailbone keeps shifting away from the brain. It's just a gentle but consistent reminder. Inhale, chest bones lift. And exhaling, tailbone shifts down, knuckles shift down. We're helping ourselves have visceral, in-body reminders of support. How you feel support in any moment is highly personal. It's unique to you. It's unique to today, to your circumstances. But I would encourage, if it's not innately a part of you, feel breath support. Right? Our breath supports openness. When I bring my breath between the sternum and the spine, that heart space does indeed seem to be accessible, open. You'll let the elbows bend as I gently just help my right hand behind my back. Extended warrior variation. Inhale the left forearm to the thigh, and the right hand is already there. I just grab onto my thigh or pant. Breath is a massive emotional support in the sense that it encourages movement. It encourages the movement and completion of our emotional messages. Let's go feet active so we can get those that foot support, that arch support. when we release hands, inhale, we'll set the hands down and the right knee down. There's a twisting lunge here if you need knee cushion added in. I'm exhaling the right elbow over the left thigh. Inhaling, unwind. And we're moving into pyramid. So I press the back knee off the ground, and I'll even walk my hands all the way up if I like, if I need. It's very back and sacrum dependent, my hand altitude. So I always walk my hands where I can feel my back being supported, right? If I need to use a wall, I'll use a wall. If I need blocks, if I need to go higher, right? But I would suggest have the hands on some surface that you can push with your palms as you breathe between the navel and the sacrum. There's a deep neurological linkage between our palms, our hands, pushing, pressing, and our sacrum. Okay. So when I push with the hands, breathe into the sacrum. You're going to press through that left foot, that left inner foot. Okay, you push, you can shift your weight way back into that right foot if you like. There you go, keep going. And getting breath under this left side. There you go. Oh, good. Push with the hand. Bring breath under this left side. Push with the hand, push. There you go, push. Yes. Good. Release by bending the left knee, inhaling the hands down. Let's just walk it all the way down. Exhaling, let's step back and lower belly to earth. You can set the knees down. I just want to take some ground lying breaths. So we've been breathing a lot and in ways that kind of lengthen the spine, but we also need to breathe into a curved spine. So inhale into the abdomen, coming up only as far as it feels right on your spine. So this can be a super mild cobra. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. All right. So we've got that warrior two, other side. Inhale your right foot forward. We've got that chest opener, so bring the hands to interlace behind back. And then exhaling, the tailbone can shift down as the upper back lifts away from the sacrum. And if it's okay on your knees, Megan, you can come way into that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So when I deeply bend, then I can start to play with that whole thigh bone rotation, how the thigh bone feels interfacing with the pelvis. shifting that foot, that right leg pressure. Let's give a little telescopic move here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. Release those hands. Oh, I'm going to actually pull that left hand around my back. We're getting into that extended variation. Right forearm on thigh. And if I'm attending to my sacrum and really, almost like using my sacrum like a breath catcher, if you will, I press out through the heel. And I use my buttock muscles just a bit, shifting the tailbone toward the left heel. I'm using the arches of my foot. I'm using my foot ground interface. Sometimes I'm turning, twisting, moving, pressing. And so I can feel that breath in my pelvis, in my sacrum, in my navel area. Good. And we can afford to soften the neck. That might be a nice way to bring that breath more prominently into that lower belly. Not forceful, just there's a prominence, there's a presence, there's breath palpable in our low belly. That mid-spine bone, kind of that same-ish one, maybe a little bit lower, Brett. That upper back spine bone. Release, inhaling with setting, turning. We're going twist first. Pyramid or twist? Twist. All right, pyramid later. I've got my left knee down. And I'm exhaling the left elbow over the right thigh. Now, if we're breathing into that low back and that low belly, what happens is I don't have to necessarily twist through my low back. I get quite a bit of support there with that low, that abdominal, that sacral breathing. And it allows me to feel the twist acting more through the mid and the upper back. Yeah. So you just started to and inhaling, when we unwind, we'll walk our way into pyramid. And you can just walk those hands up or up and up. I want your back to feel good. Coming in and out of these moves. Right foot. There we go. And when your hands push, especially the palms, Breathe into sacrum. Bending right knee. Inhale, hands to ground. Exhaling, we'll step back and lower belly to earth. You can set the knees down if you love. And the important thing here is that we're breathing under the low back. Today's a lot of breath down there kind of a day. So inhale, belly into the earth. The chest can elevate, the hands can help. As mild a cobra as you need to. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. All right, the time has come. Let's inhale. I believe we started our left foot forward, and we'll be working either vertical splits or Ekapada Bakasana. And I'm happy to talk through a myriad of options and tangents so that you're getting the pose that you like. So if I'm working Ekapada, let me start at vertical splits. I'm just raising my right leg up, and I don't require any arm-leg connection. We can also do Ekapada, where I use my foot on block. But this time, I am shifting forward sufficiently that I can start to lighten my right leg and raise it. Neck relaxed, I dare you. And the other version of this is no block. I use no block. I connect the arm and the leg. Okay. And then I can elevate that back leg, exactly. Okay. With all of these versions, there's a tendency to tighten down at the back of the neck. So I want you to choose the version where you can play with soft neck and so deep breath. There you go. There you go. We're just doing this one side, so you can take your time with it. Nice, nice. Then inhale, we'll set that right foot down and we'll step back, downward dog, exhaling. Other side. So we inhale the right foot forward, Ekapada, or vertical splits. Either way, we're loading up the right hip or right leg, and we're elevating the left leg. Okay. You can use a block. Or you can go blockless. But I'm breathing the sacrum, like I'm helping elevate my sacrum toward the sky. That's a breath move, not just a muscle move. There's muscles in there, but So yeah, it's like I'm getting the breath to lift my fingertips. That's it, that's it. And then I use my arms exactly to keep, yep. And And inhaling, we'll set that left foot down. Exhaling, step right foot back, downward dog. All right, let's do a little bit of an unwind. Inhale your left foot forward for lounge lunge. We'll set the right knee down. The right hand can remain down. And our left arm hugs. And we're draping through that right side ribs. When we unwind, inhaling, we'll go into pigeon. Let's walk the left foot to the right side of the mat, lying the shin down. And I want you to take pigeon in a way that you love. So for some, that's just getting down to the forearms and letting gravity do the rest. Sometimes I get a really nice traction or back release if I engage my right foot, kind of drawing that leg back. That's an option. Not very restful, but it's an option. Again, it's just constant reminders today. They're visceral, they're remembrances. How do we visceralize? How do we experience support in any given moment? And even if you're like, I've got all my needs met, I'm perfectly fine, it's still the embodiment. We start to reach a little differently. How do I feel breath supported? How do I feel supported spiritually? Inhaling, let's walk the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Just these two moves on the other side. So starting with a lounge lunge, we'll inhale the right foot forward. We've got the left knee down, the left palm down. And I'm sure we've all encountered these moments or the stages in our life when we've experienced a lot of the world was coming at us. A lot of world events were happening to us. visceralizing, feeling with our body support is an incredible intervention into that mind style. And when we start to feel support and supported in our own body, this incredible, radical self-responsibility takes root. Oh, if I can choose this, I can feel it more often. Let's move into pigeon. So we'll unwind slightly, walk the right foot over, and we'll lie the shin down. Sometimes it's really simple. I just feel that ground support. Awesome. But I find it's hard to catch external support systems. It's hard to feel them, to digest them, to integrate them. If I can't feel support on my own terms. I think it was in Einstein's writing where, after all of his in-depth calculations and observation of the universe, he had come to the conclusion that overall, the universe seems to be behaving in a benign way. It's like the universe tends to be supporting us in our unfolding. So if we take the really large view, we're being welcomed. Now we're close to seated on our right hip, so let's just turn and weight bear, and we'll draw that left leg around. We'll take Shavasana. You're welcome to put legs up wall. You're welcome to get props under the knees. When you're ready, we'll bend knees. And turn to a side. And then press up. Namaste. My pleasure.